Christoph, congratulations on the film.
Thank you.
Another excellent performance
Thank you very
from
much.
yourself. This is good. It's very old school. It's not often you see movies like this in Hollywood.
You.
These adult-orientated movies,
Thank you.
with that emotional density. Is that what attracted you to the role and
Absolutely.
what attracted you to the film?
No, you're absolutely right. I lamented for a long time that there are not enough movies for grown-ups. That there are not enough movies that offer insights into people that even an audience that is outside of the target 14 to 29 can sort of relate to. And the complaints that or not complaints, the opinion that older people don't go to the movies and therefore we don't have to make movies for them. I find that the inverse reasoning, because they don't go because there's nothing for them to see. They would go if they had more movies like that. I mean, at least I hope so.
When you sat down with the director Francis Lawrence, is that how he explained the movie to you and pitched the movie to you, that this is an adult-orientated movie? It's going to be very little CGI, it's going to be big sets, it's going to be proper animals, and
yeah, that's exactly what was the case, and it really opened my so to say my heart immediately and softened my somewhat in the meantime somewhat hardened edges, because I find that an important thing, and the success seems to prove him right. It's a good idea. It's a good idea to, everybody refers to it as like almost a classic setup. Well, classic, yes, but the classic is not an ornament that you can glue onto something. There's something that makes it classic, and it's this very quality, I think.
And speaking of the sets and how big the sets are, and indeed the animals as well, how does that help you in terms of your process and getting into character when you're there, when you don't have to act opposite a green screen?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, just like it's nice to have your apartment or your house to be different from a hotel room, so you feel at home, to abbreviate that. And they had to build this circus from scratch because all these things don't exist anymore, like the cloth tent, that almost white. Nowadays circus tents are made of some plastic thing and they're dark. They performed at daylight, and the light had to come through because they didn't have lamps of the kind that we use today. The poles are not aluminum; they're wood, but poles like that don't exist, so they had to be manufactured. Everything had to be made. The wagons and the train still existed. There's a circus museum in Wisconsin. And they were actually very forthcoming in making that available. The animal cages, they were originals. So originals were used as much as they were still available, but very few of the things were. That whole main road that leads up to the big top, that was all made. And Jack Fisk, the production designer, created a world, and we were able to move within this world.
That's where that classic element kind of comes from as well. Everything was built from scratch.
Yeah,
but,
true.
It must be a strange couple of years for you, because you've been a very successful stage, TV and theatre actor in Germany and in other countries as well. But how much have things changed other than the loss of anonymity? No, everything has changed. I was trying to get into people's movies, and now people try to get me into theirs. That's the big difference.
I'd say it's a different world.
And I can't leave you without asking about, there's constant rumours about yourself re-teaming with Quentin Tarantino.
Yeah, I'd be really interested in how these rumours turn out, I'm sort of, suspensefully watching the development. I have no idea.
But can you see why everybody like you, Inglourious Basterds was obviously such a huge success?
I would like to see it. I'm, almost a little embarrassed to be sort of carried along with this, but on the other hand, I'm immensely flattered. So let's see how it all turns out.
Well, regardless of Quentin, you're working with another famous director at the moment, or have you just finished working with Roman Polanski?
Yeah, we're finished.
And you've got Jodie Foster in there, John C. Reilly, Kate Winslet. That's an incredible cast.
Absolutely.
How was that shoot, and how was that experience?
It was like we started like working in the theater because it's a play. And it's real time, meaning film time is real time. It's in one set, and 4 actors constantly present. There's not a minute without the others, depending on who the one is. And we rehearsed it like theater. So actually, after about, I don't know, we did it early on. After about a week and a bit, we did run-throughs of the whole thing. So that's something that you don't do in movies, you know. It was fabulous, because by the time we got to shoot it, we knew the whole thing. Of course, you're working on the details and you're rehearsing the individual setups, but as a whole, we could jump, and we didn't. We shot chronologically. But we knew, not just as an idea and theoretically, we knew from experience where we're going, and that's something that I've never experienced in a movie before.
I'm looking forward to seeing
And that's not the only thing that I've never experienced in a movie, because it was a fabulous thing to do. Whether the movie turns out right or not, let's hope. I don't know, but you know, it's almost.
It was an intense experience anyway.
Exactly.
I'm looking forward to seeing it.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time. It's a pleasure to meet you.